Have you started the video yet?
Yeah. Oh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the forum. Big news today. Paragon just killed Lady Sinestra, and that is huge news. Just this right here. Okay. So there are some interesting things about this kill that were somewhat out of the ordinary, but some that I actually expected. First of all, they 5-healed it. They 5-healed a heroic-only boss, and that's pretty impressive. We're gonna talk about their logs later, like their recount and shit, but, they did not use a Resto Shaman. So that just goes to show how overpowered class stacking and how shitty Resto Shaman are right now. I mean, that's really funny that you...
Honestly...
Here's this is even funnier. They did not even use a Shaman in the raid at all on the kill. Two Death Knights, 3 Druids, 2 Hunters, 4 Mages, 4 Paladins, 3 Priests, 3 Rogues, 3 Locks, and a Warrior. That is some,
I'm sorry, I just had an orgasm about, the DBS on that Death Knight, the one that topped the charts, 30 fucking K.
I mean, here's the thing, though. If you add up all of the numbers, which I'm totally not going to do, she's got to have, I'm going to say 180, maybe 200k plus million life, or 200 million life, and from what it looks like, there's not even a damage modifier at all. But here's what happened first. There's a bug where a Death Knight could Dark Simulacrum her, like, super Jesus mode, Shadow Bolt thing, and he was hitting her for, like, 1 billion damage. There's a statement from Paragon, I'll read it to you guys. It's on MMOchampion.com. Here's a quote from Paragon, the GM, I believe. The encounter itself was quite unfinished, especially on the first few days. There were some absolutely massive bugs that were obvious from the first pull. Shadow orbs sweeping the whole room and killing everyone in the raid. The Dark Simulacrum and other reflex, and Rack was probably the biggest one. You could literally hit the boss for 1 billion damage in a single GCD, global cooldown. It was
That would be one shot.
Yeah, it was pretty damn scary watching Sinestra almost die to it by accident. So, if it hit him for 1 billion damage, then she's got to have some kind of damage reduction effect, or perhaps some kind of immunity effect, which there is a screenshot of the kill, and checking the time, okay. This clip, Sinestra is giant. She's like Magma, but a lot bigger, because she kind of comes through like a gap in the floor, and from this screenshot I can see she's channeling this ability, and it's like this shadowy weaving thing, and then halfway through this bolt at the player tank, obviously, it stops and turns into fire, so it's some kind of shadow flame blast that she shoots at the tank, and if that is Dark Simulacrumable, that's what's going to hit her for 1 billion damage, and I see at least 20 shadowy-looking netherwelt things, hostile ads running around, and they're stuck in traps, so it looks like you're going to have to CC. But I'm going to read you more of the quote. Some people got pretty upset after their first 10% attempt, or below 10% attempt, finding out that the tactic they used was unintended and hotfixed right afterwards, so they perhaps could have gotten the kill earlier than they expected. Blizz actually did, this is big, quote, sportsmanship, because this isn't a fucking sport, sportsmanship. They reported this bug to Blizzard that they could have exploited to fucking kill the boss, and they said, hey Blizz, fix this, we don't want to cheat the system like this. So Blizzard fixed the issue within an hour or two after receiving the report that they sent. So that's, props to Paragon for that. So they said, overall, it was a weird raiding experience. That wasn't the response I expected. Some good stuff, some bad stuff, some unfinished and very buggy stuff, but definitely very stressful. Personally, I'm, me being the guild leader of Paragon, not sure what to think of it quite yet. That's kind of a disappointment, because I expected him to say, oh my god, most amazing fight ever, because that's what it's been made out to be. Like, Algalon in the past, heroic-only boss. Sinestra, heroic only boss. All of Naxxramas, heroic only bosses. I'm talking vanilla WoW, of course, and he says, all in all, it's this tier of rating, in my opinion, and I'm reading this as a quote from Paragon Guildmaster, so when I say I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about him. In my opinion, has been the hardest tier of rating overall. There haven't been many pushover bosses in heroic difficulty. Halfus, lol. There hasn't been any gating, and I don't really know what that means. There haven't been any attunements and such, which I like. But he does say it's been one big, absolutely brutal boss grind. And here's the saddest part. Probably the biggest difference between this tier 11 bosses, Loot Wing Descent, Bastion of Loot, Throw 4 Loots.
Why do you call it Loot Wing Descent?
Because it's really, really easy, and it's free loot. Probably the biggest difference between this tier and the previous ones have been the various bugs and exploits, sadly enough. So, I mean, that's kind of disappointing. I expected a lot more.
See, I didn't really rate it much, so I didn't really get the whole Loot Wing something.
Yeah, well, I call it Loot Wing Descent because it's really, really easy. That's about it. They did not use any exploits or bugs on Cho'Gall, and none on Nefarian, and they did not use any on Sinestra. They did one by accident, but they reported that and had it removed. So, there's, he says it's hard to keep track. It's hard to keep track of all these exploits with the amount of trolls absolutely exploding everywhere, which is pretty funny because they are just gonna get so much crap from trolls who just don't respect them. So it took them 5 days to kill the boss after they first saw it, after they first killed Cho'Gall. They were the second to reach it, which they said they were disappointed about, but the first one to kill it is really all that matters. So right now they are 12 out of 13 in current content. In the first, how long has Cataclysm been out? 2 months? That's a month and a half?
That's not just, about a month and a half.
That's ridiculous. That is straight up ridiculous. If you can kill almost full clear of the content that was released on the release date in a month and a half, you are a complete boss. And there's this guy Man Cheese, one of their Death Knights. That's a great name, by the way. His number one ability on the fight, hit for, here, let me see the math here, 198,173,197 damage with a Dark Simulacrum Spell Reflect. That's insane.
I have one comment on here. We need to get on to the conversation for something, but I want to make one comment.
Go.
I really hope Blizzard is not what I call Insidia them. They did do the honorable thing. They did, tell Blizzard the...
I am lagging.
They really should not have exploited the bugs. If you were consider exploiting, they did report them though. So I do feel like they don't deserve the Insidia. You remember when they Insidia down Lich King 25 man, but they used the Serenite bombs to bug the Valkyries and everything.
Yeah, they had no idea. They had now Insidia is like Insidia was like the shit. But when that happened, everybody was like, "Oh, Insidia sucks." But I believe that they didn't do anything wrong. They had no idea because Serenite Bomb at the time was part of a rogue's rotation, and some of that was bugging out the Valks.
The thing is, they after a few attempts, they kind of figured it out. Like they knew of what was happening, but the thing is, they didn't tell anybody what was happening. They didn't report the bug. Therefore, they kind of deserved what they got. But Paragon did report the bugs. Whether they really say they exploited it or not, debatable. Is it true? Maybe. But I really hope that they don't have anything stripped from them. I think that they deserve the kill because they did the honorable thing in telling Blizzard about the bug.
Yeah, here's
otherwise everybody would be doing it right now.
Yeah, here's why I say they deserve it. They spent 5 days of playing WoW like crazy. 5 days.
I disagree with this stuff because I've honestly been in raid that lasted more than a week. When I used to raid and like early wrath and late Burning Crusade, I issued raids that lasted honestly more than a week. And
yeah, well they theory crafted and practiced for 5 days, and they finally got the kill. So, big ups to Paragon. Anyway, we're coming up in the 10-minute, 30-second mark, so we're gonna close the forum. We're gonna rant right now, everybody's favorite topic. So, I'm Matt, he's Tony, and we'll see you next.